Hello students, good morning to all. As per your request, here I am making a video on the hybridization. In this video, we'll be discussing the full concept of hybridization, that all the things about how to fill the electrons for individual atoms present in the molecule. We'll be discussing about the hybridization of molecules as well as the molecular ions. So first we are starting with the shortcut to calculate the hybridization of any molecule or any molecular ion. Here is the shortcut. Here first we'll first locate that which is the central atom in the molecule. If we know the central atom, central atom can be selected based upon the rules discussed while drawing the Lewis-Dot structures, as discussed in our previous video, which I have already shared with you all. So from here, Z comes out to be half multiplied by number of valence electrons on central atom plus any negative charge of the molecule minus any positive charge plus number of monovalent atoms. Based upon this, we will get some values for Z. If Z comes out to be 2, then hybridization is sp. Geometry is going to be linear. Bond angle is going to be 180 degrees. If Z comes out to be 3, hybridization, hybridization, 3 orbitals will participate, that is 1s and 2p. Geometry is going to be trigonal planar. Bond angle is going to be 120. Here I would like to mention that while undergoing hybridization, any orbital can participate, whether it is half filled, vacant, or fully filled. All types of orbitals can participate belonging to the central atom. As the orbitals belonging to the central atom only undergoes hybridization. So the next Z value is 4, for which 4 orbitals are going to participate for the hybridization, and we'll get 4 sp3 hybridized orbitals. Geometry is going to be tetrahedral. And here one important point is that geometry is dependent upon the number of bond pairs and the lone pairs. So whenever we are writing about the geometry of any based upon the hybridization, geometry is dependent upon the bond pairs plus lone pairs, while shape has to deal with only the bond pairs. Shape doesn't rely on the number of lone pairs. If number of lone pairs in any molecule is 0, then shape and geometry are going to be same. Next Z value is 5. 5 orbitals are going to undergo hybridization. That means sp3d, trigonal bipyramidal, which is also called as TBP. Two types of bond angles are there, 90 degree and 120 degree. I'm considering you know the basic concept of hybridization, that how these hybridizations are, how to draw these shapes and these geometries, and how are these bond angles present in them. This thing you have already done in your BSc first year, first semester in the chemical bonding part. Next is the Z value of 6, where I'm sorry, hybridization is sp3d2 based upon 6 orbitals undergoing hybridization. Shape geometry is going to be octahedral and bond angle is going to be 90 degrees. Next is sp3d3 for Z value of 7. That is, geometry is pentagonal bipyramidal and bond angles are 72 degree and 92 degree. So based upon this, we'll discuss some of the molecules and their hybridizations. First example we are taking is ammonia. Number of immediate neighbors of the central atom are, here the central atom is nitrogen, and number of immediate neighbors of the central atom are 3. That is, 3 hydrogens are there. So bond pairs are going to be 3. From here, we'll first calculate the Z value. Z is going to be half multiplied by number of valence electrons associated with the central atom, that is nitrogen, 5, plus any negative charge minus any positive charge, as it is neutral, so no negative charge, no positive charge, plus number of monovalent atoms. 3 hydrogens are there which are monovalent, so plus 3. So Z comes out to be 4, which means sp3 hybridization, that is tetrahedral geometry. Also, number of bond pairs is 3, as 3 hydrogens are there around nitrogen. And from here we can calculate number of lone pairs, that is Z minus bond pairs, that is 4 minus 3. So lone pair is going to be 1. Now we'll write the ground state electronic configuration for the central atom, that is here for the valence shell, that is 2s2 and 2p3. This is the electronic configuration. So here we can see that there is going to be 1 lone pair and 3 bond pairs. For the formation of bond pairs, we need 3 electrons, and for 1 lone pair, there is already 1 paired lone pair. So these 4 orbitals will undergo hybridization. 1s and 3p will undergo hybridization and will generate 4 sp3 hybridized orbitals, and electrons will be filled like this. 1 lone pair and 3 singly filled orbitals would be there. Further, hydrogen is having 1 electron in its valence shell, that is 1s. Here I have written H1, H2, H3. That means 3 hydrogens are there which are going to make a bond with the nitrogen. So 3 single electrons, the 3 single electrons present in this will form bond pair with 1 hydrogen each. This electron will combine with this will combine with, as these have been shown with the red lines, that how nitrogen electrons are pairing up with hydrogen electrons and are forming a bond. This is how a bond is formed, and this will remain as lone pair. So from here, this is lone pair and 3 bond pairs have been formed as shown here. Geometry is going to be tetrahedral, hybridization is sp3, and shape is different from geometry because there is 1 lone pair. So shape, we will see the shape of the molecule without considering the presence of lone pair. So if we hide this lone pair with our hand, what we see? We see a pyramid with a tip having nitrogen atom, and at base it is having 3 hydrogens. So that is why this shape is called as pyramidal shape. Next molecule is SF4. Number of bond pairs we can easily see 4 are there. Z comes out to be 5 based upon valence electrons of sulfur. No negative or positive charge, plus number of monovalent atoms, that is 4. 6 plus 4, 10 by 2, that means 5. 5 means sp3d, which means TBP geometry, that is trigonal bipyramidal geometry. Number of lone pairs are going to be Z minus number of bond pairs, that is 1. Now we'll write ground state electronic configuration for sulfur. It is having configuration of 3s2, 3p4, 2 electrons in s orbital and 4 in 3p orbital. D orbitals are vacant. Now we can see that we need 4 unpaired electrons so that each can make a covalent bond with each fluorine, that is 4 fluorines are there. So we need 4 unpaired electrons in case of sulfur. So there will be a rearrangement of electrons in the which is represented as excited state of sulfur. And also we need 1 lone pair. So 3s2 will remain like this, and the electrons which are paired in p orbital will get promoted to one of the 3d orbital, and these 5 orbitals will undergo hybridization as we have predicted from the Z value. So these 5 orbitals will participate and undergo hybridization to produce 5 sp3d hybridized orbitals. So here are the 5 sp3d hybridized orbitals, and this is 1 lone pair, and 4 are the singly occupied orbitals. So these 4 electrons will make a sigma bond. As in hybridization has to deal with only the sigma bond. It has nothing to do with the formation of pi bonds. Pi bonds do not participate in the hybridization. So each fluorine here, fluorines are represented as F1, F2, F3, F4. As the electronic configuration is 2s2, 2p5, each needs 1 electron each to complete its octet. So these 4 electrons will make bonds, covalent bonds with 1 fluorine each, and this will present as lone pair. So what we're gonna get is, we're gonna get trigonal bipyramidal geometry with 1 lone pair. Now, in case of trigonal bipyramidal geometry, 2 positions are there. One is equatorial position and other is axial position. These positions which are present above and below the plane of the molecule are the axial positions, and these 3 positions are referred as equatorial position. In the last video we discussed some part of hybridization. I guess there I drew the molecules wrong based upon I exchanged the axial and equatorial positions. So I would request you all, do not consider that part from the Lewis dot structure video. The hybridization part, please skip that part, and for the hybridization part you will have to refer this video which is having everything correct. I have corrected all the points here in this video. So this is the axial position and this is the equatorial position. So this is a rule while drawing the geometry of trigonal bipyramidal geometry for molecules having trigonal bipyramidal geometry, that lone pair always occupies the equatorial position. This is based upon the fact that lone pair, that in valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, it has been already established that lone pair repulsions are more than lone pair bond pair repulsions, which are further more than bond pair repulsions. So here bond angle in this plane is, if we see the bond angle between this lone pair and this fluorine, it is 120 degree, while the bond angle with this fluorine and lone pair is 90 degree. So here lone pair is positioned in such a way that when it is present at equatorial position, it experiences least repulsions from the bond pairs. So based upon the rule that we should, the structure, that structure is going to be stable, which is experiencing least repulsion in its lone pairs, in its bond pairs. So based upon that, lone pair always occupies the equatorial position and the other groups are going to occupy the axial positions. So based upon this, the geometry is TBP, hybridization we have already discussed, that is sp3d, and shape, after hiding the lone pair, we are going to see the shape. If it is seesaw shape, as it is clearly seen, if this is the base of a seesaw and this is the pole of the seesaw, not the pole where seats are there where children sit and enjoy the swing. It is a seesaw shaped molecule if we do not consider this lone pair. So while considering the shape, we are not supposed to consider the presence of lone pair. So next we have this molecule, that is XeO3F2. From here, for this, Z comes out to be 5, which is again trigonal bipyramidal geometry. Bond pairs are 5, as we can see 3 oxygens and 2 fluorines are there. Lone pair is 0. So here for this molecule, shape and geometry are going to be same, as number of lone pairs is 0. Ground state electronic configuration for xenon is 5s2, 5p6. It is having 5 vacant d orbitals. So now, as we can see that it requires 5 electrons to be present as single, and it doesn't require any lone pair. So all the 4 electrons will get promoted to d orbitals, because we need to make pi bonds also. But in hybridization, the electrons, the orbitals which are undergoing hybridization and electrons present in the hybridized orbitals will form just the sigma bonds. Here we'll see how it happens. This is xenon. Here we have promoted all the electrons. Now all the orbitals are singly occupied, and these 5 orbitals, that is 1s, 3p and 1d orbital, have undergone hybridization to sp3 dehybridized orbital, and formation of sp3 dehybridized orbital takes place. These are the 5 orbitals, and these are the remaining d orbitals. 4 d orbitals are left here, which are having 1 electron each, out of which 3 are having 1 electron each. So these 5 sp3 hybridized orbital will form sigma bond with all the 5 atoms present, that is 3 oxygens and 2 fluorine. So here we have shown first fluorine with 2s2, 2p5 electronic configuration. It makes bonds with the first electron. Second fluorine makes bond with the second electron. Then oxygen forms bond with the third electron of xenon, and second oxygen with the fourth, third oxygen with the fifth one. Now, as we know that for the completion of the octet of oxygen, it needs to form double bond. So these 3 remaining d orbital will form double bonds with the 1 electron each left with the oxygen. That is, this electron we have shown here, it will form pi bond with this electron, it will form pi bond with this electron, and the last oxygen, that is O3, will form pi bond with this electron. So this is how bonding takes place. In this case of hybridization, by discussing the hybridization, while putting the electrons, while promoting the electrons for the excited state, we can easily tell that which bond is forming between which orbitals, that which orbital of central atom is participating in the formation of bond and which orbital of the corner atom is participating. So the concept of hybridization gives us detailed idea of what is happening while the formation of bonds in the molecules, while the formation of molecules. So here we can clearly see that 5 sigma bonds are there, 3 pi bonds are there, geometry is trigonal bipyramidal, hybridization is sp3d. Here if we are asked that which orbitals are present in the pi bonds, which orbitals are contributing for the formation of first pi bond. So here we can see that 2p orbital of oxygen and 5d orbital of xenon are involved for the formation of pi bonds for all the oxygens, and 5d orbitals for all the 3 pi bonds are formed by these combination of these 2 orbitals. So here we can see, now we need to know about the structure. Now we know the shape of the molecule. Shape is going to be trigonal bipyramidal, as there is no lone pair. Geometry and shape are going to be same. From here we can see one thing, that as there are 3 oxygens and fluorine, 2 fluorines are there in the molecule. So where to place, at what position we need to place the oxygen, and at what position we need to place the fluorine. So we have, these are the 2 possibilities out of the many possibilities. We are comparing these 2 just to give you the idea that how to decide about the positions. Here the basic rule is that for lone pair, the basic rule is that lone pair is going to occupy the equatorial position. While for electronegative atoms, if 2 bonded atoms are there and we have to choose between the 2 bonded atoms, that what position is occupied by which atom for the formation of TBP geometry, or we can say for the formation of molecules having TBP shape or geometry. So here it is decided on the base that more electronegative atom is placed at the axial position. So fluorine is going to occupy the axial position while oxygens will be present at the equatorial position. So based upon this structure, the one on the right side is the correct one and this is the incorrect structure, while this can be explained on the basis that for this structure As we know that more the electronegative atoms are attached, if fluorine is more electronegative, then what it will do is it will attract the bonded pair of electrons towards itself, and so that it can present itself at smaller angle, as there are two types of angles are there. Here we can see that in for this molecule we are considering OXCF. Sorry, OXCF. First one, here I have written number 1. It is 90 degree. So such type of 4 angles are there. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 2 above and 2 down. So 4 are there. 120 degrees. We are not considering the 120 degree angles, although I have written here, but while considering the repulsions, we'll consider the lowest smaller angles where repulsions would be 4. So if we compare this, that here in this angle, as fluorine is more electronegative, what will happen is it will attract the bond pair between present due to the formation of bond between xenon and fluorine towards itself. So it will reduce the repulsion to greater extent than oxygen. So here in this molecule 2XCF, 4OXCF angles are there, and 1 FeXF angle, and 2 OXCO angles are there. That is these angles. We are considering just the case of 90 degree angles. While in this case, OXCF angles, number of OXCF angles are 6. As we all know that fluorine is more electronegative, so number of atoms, number of angles including fluorine would be more preferable than the number of angles having oxygens. As for oxygen, which is less electronegative, the bond pair would be less towards oxygen and will be more towards the xenon in comparison to XCF bond. Not in comparison to xenon or oxygen, but in comparison to XCF bond. And if we compare these two bonds, XCF and XCO, the the bond pair of electrons would be more towards fluorine if we compare these two bonds. So here repulsions would be like this, that OXCO angle will experience, if number of these angles are more, such structure will experience more repulsions than these two structures. So based upon this we can decide the simple rule is that more electronegative atoms should be placed at the axial position and lone pair should be placed at the equatorial position while drawing the structures for TBP geometry. So these are the two rules. Based upon this, we can see for XCO2F2 molecule, here Z comes out to be 5. One lone pair is there, 2 oxygens are there, and 2 fluorines are there. Each fluorine is one lone pair is there, so we'll keep one lone pair and promote the rest of the electrons. 4 sigma bonds are going to form with one fluorine each. 2 fluorines are there and 2 oxygens are there. 2 oxygens will form pi bond with the unhybridized orbitals. This is how it is going to happen. So now if we discuss the structure, we come to the structure that lone pair will occupy the equatorial position and more electronegative atoms, that is fluorine. If we compare these two atoms, fluorine and oxygen, more electronegative is fluorine. So fluorine will occupy the axial position and oxygens will occupy the equatorial position. So this is the most acceptable correct structure for this. Similarly, if we compare these two molecules, here it is 3 fluorines and 2 fluorines, and here 2 fluorines and 3 fluorines. Irrespective of the number of atoms present, number of the corner atoms, like here we can see that more electronegative is fluorine. So it will occupy these two positions. we should not, we are not supposed to consider it as that there are 3 chlorines, so we should place 3 chlorines at the equatorial position. As there are 3 equatorial positions, we should consider the electronegativity of the corner atoms. Like here, if 3 fluorines are there, the axial positions will be occupied by 2 of the fluorine, and the left out fluorine will occupy the equatorial position, as there is no more axial position left. We cannot draw this molecule as fluorine at equatorial position, fluorine at axial position and 3 fluorines at the equatorial position. So these are the correct structures for these molecules based upon these 2 rules. Now we'll discuss the geometry and hybridization of some ions. For the geometry and hybridization of ions, we need to consider first, we need to know the most acceptable Lewis dot structure. So as per the rules, we are discussing for carbonate ion CO3 2 negative. This is the most acceptable Lewis dot structure for carbonate CO3 2 negative ion. Now we'll calculate Z. For this, Z is going to be 4 number of valence electrons plus 2 negative charges there, divided by 2, sp2, trigonal planar, bond pairs are 3, so lone pair will be 0. This is the ground state electronic configuration of carbon. As lone pair is going to be 0, so we'll promote 1 electron and all the orbitals will be occupied singly now. There will be these 2p and 1s orbital will undergo hybridization and 1p orbital will be left. So these 3 orbitals will form sigma bonds with 3 oxygens each, and one of the oxygen will form pi bond with this oxygen, with this electron which is present in the p orbital, in the unhybridized p orbital. Also here we can see that as oxygens are more electronegative than carbon, so negative charge will be occupied by the electronegative atom while considering the hybridization. Here 2 oxygens will participate as O negative. Here we have drawn 2s2 2p5, which means one oxygen has gained 1 electron. So it is short of 1 electron, which will be fulfilled by the formation of sigma bond. This oxygen is neutral. It has 2 electrons short for the completion of its octet, so it will form 1 sigma and 1 pi. This is also present as O negative, so will give negative charge to one of the corner atoms here in the case of carbonate, but in general the negative charge while considering the hybridization is given to the more electronegative atom and positive charge is given to the more electropositive atom. Let's discuss the case of nitrate ion. Here for nitrate ion, this is the most acceptable Lewis dot structure. While when Lewis theory was proposed, at that time coordinate bond was not discovered. The concept of coordinate bond was not there. So while but when the concept of hybridization came, the concept of coordinate bond was there, which is an advancement to Lewis dot structure. So this is a limitation of Lewis dot structure, that it is represented as there are more charges, more charge separation. So this can be represented as in the form of coordinate bond like this. Whenever there is a charge separation, that is positive and negative charge on the central and the corner atom, it can be shown like this, that nitrogen is contributing 2 of its electrons in the formation of bond with oxygen, and this bond is going to be a coordinate bond. So based upon this, only 1 oxygen is there which is having negative charge, 2 oxygens are neutral. Here I have numbered all the oxygens. Oxygen 1 is charged. It has already gained. It is having the electronic configuration of 2s2 2p5. First we'll see the hybridization. Z comes out to be 3, which means sp2 hybridization. That means trigonal planar. Nitrogen is having the ground state electronic configuration of 2s2 2p3. As it is not having any d orbitals, as we need just 3 electrons for the formation of bond, so we need not promote any electron. And what we'll do is these 3 orbitals will undergo hybridization, that is 1s and 2p, and 1p will be present as this, which will be used for the formation of pi bond with one of the oxygens. So O negative will form 1 sigma bond. This neutral oxygen will form 1 sigma bond, and the third oxygen, what will happen for this is it will get the lone pair present with the 2s2, which was earlier associated with 2s2, but now it is present in the hybridized orbital. So this will form a coordinate bond where both the electrons are coordinated by are contributed by the nitrogen. So this is how a coordinate bond is represented, and here rearrangement before that is going to take place, that these 2 electrons present with the oxygen get paired up and will empty the last orbital for the completion of its octet for the formation of the coordinate bond. So this is how nitrate ion is formed. Next is the case of SO4 2 negative. Here, this is the most acceptable Lewis dot structure. This now I am expecting that you can easily draw based upon the last video, where I have fully explained that how to reach the most acceptable Lewis dot structure. From here we have calculated the value of Z, which comes out to be sp3. All the pairs are bond pairs. No lone pair is there. So we'll write the ground state electronic configuration, then the excited state. In the ground state, there are 2 unpaired electrons, but we need to form 4 sigma bonds. So we need to promote, and also we do not need any of the lone pairs. So we'll promote both the electrons, and both the electrons will get promoted to the d orbitals, and first 4 orbitals, that is sp undergoes hybridization, that is sp3 hybridization, and these 2 orbitals will form 2 pi bonds required with 2 of the oxygens, and 2 oxygens will be present as O negative, that is which have already gained 1 electron each and just need 1 electron for the completion of their octet. Next case to be discussed is for the H3O positive molecule. In this molecule, what happens is, if we calculate, if we draw the most acceptable Lewis dot structure, as far as the Lewis dot structures are concerned, irrespective of the electronegativity of the elements, electronegativity of the atoms, it gives positive charge to the central atom and negative charge to the corner atoms. But in case of hybridization, what we consider that negative charge is always present with the most electronegative atom, and positive charge is associated with the most electropositive atom if it is there on the molecule, while later on it was confirmed that any charge present on the molecule is always present as a delocalized charge on the whole molecule. Charge separation is not there in case of molecules. That is why while drawing the Lewis dot structures, we draw resonating structures apart rather than drawing a single structure. For hybridization, positive charge is to be considered on the less electronegative. This we have already discussed. So for here, based upon this, one of the hydrogen will be present as H positive, and oxygen will form a coordinate bond with the hydrogens. This is how it happens. Oxygen is having the ground state electronic configuration like this. Here we need to form 2 sigma bonds and 1 coordinate bond. So based upon that, we have 2 unpaired electrons and 1 lone pair is present, lone pair is there, and 1 electron will keep paired because we need to form coordinate bond with H positive. So here it will form sigma bond. This electron also forms sigma bond with this. Here this is present as H positive, which has already lost its electron, and it needs 2 electrons to complete its octet. So both the electrons will be shared by, for the formation of this bond, both the electrons will be contributed by oxygen for the formation of this bond. So this is represented as coordinate bond. Same is the case with ammonium ion. Here, according to the Lewis dot structure, positive charge is there on the nitrogen, but in actual, the positive charge is there on the H positive, or we represent it better in a better way as the charge is present on the whole molecule, delocalized on the whole molecule. So this is drawn in a similar way as we have just discussed for the case of H3O positive. The last case which we are discussing now are the ClF4 positive and ClF4 negative. Here, for ClF4 positive, if we want to draw the Lewis dot structure, Q comes out to be 34. Based upon this, we have drawn the most acceptable Lewis dot structure, which comes out to be this with positive charge on fluorine. Here, the positive charge is there on the central atom as per the Lewis dot structure. Also, the chlorine is more electronegative, less electronegative, so it is acceptable for the concept of hybridization also. So chlorine has already lost 1 electron while before participating in the hybridization. So we'll write it as Cl positive. Rather than writing the 7 electrons associated with chlorine, we'll write 6 electrons like 2s2 and 2p4 rather than writing 2p5, because it has already lost 1 electron, and chlorines will present as 2s2, 2p5. So here 4 chlorines are to form bond with the Cl. So what we'll do is, as we can see that 1 lone pair is there based upon the Lewis dot structure. So we'll promote only 1 electron, that is this electron, to form sigma bonds with all the fluorines. We'll get 4 unpaired electrons and 1 will present as lone pair, and these 5 orbitals will undergo sp3d hybridization and will get 5 sp3d hybridized orbital. 1 will be present as lone pair, and based upon this, its geometry is diagonal bipyramidal. Next is ClF4 negative. Here, based upon this, most acceptable structure comes out to be this. But when we count the electrons associated with the corner atoms, octet of fluorines are already complete, and octet of chlorine exceeds, which is acceptable for according to Lewis theory also. But here, if we count the covalency, it comes out to be 8, which is not possible for fluorine. So we look for another structure. But when we try to make another structure, here the octet of fluorines got overfilled, which is also not possible. But we can get the relaxation of the covalency always whenever there is no option left with us. So we'll consider this as the most acceptable structure. Based upon this, the negative charge resides on the central atom. So here also, this is the drawback of the Lewis dot structures, as negative charge cannot be present at the central atom first and then at the less electronegative atom. So from here, what we'll do is, for the hybridization thing, we'll consider negative charge on fluorine. 1 fluorine will participate as F negative, and 3 other fluorines will participate as fluorines, that is neutral fluorine atoms. Chlorine will participate as Cl with electronic configuration of 3s2, 3p5. Fluorine is having electronic configuration of 2s2, 2p5. Each is 1 electron short, and F negative does have its octet complete. So based upon this, if we calculate the value of Z, it comes out to be 6, which indicates sp3d2 hybridization. So here we have 4 bond pairs, that means 2 lone pairs are present on fluorine. So based upon this, what we'll do is, we'll keep these 2 pairs as bonded and we'll promote this 1 electron. And hybridization is going to be sp3d2. What will happen is, each 3 electrons. Each fluorine will make single sigma bond with these 3 electrons, and F negative will contribute both its electrons to the vacant d orbital of the chlorine. Vacant, not d orbital, but sp3d2 hybridized orbital of chlorine. So this is how the geometry becomes octahedral, and this is how the molecules formation of the molecules takes place based upon the hybridization theory. And also here this bond is represented as coordinate bond, and the negative charge is present on the overall molecule based upon the hybridization theory and not on any single atom of the molecule. So this is all about the hybridization of molecular ions and different molecules. I hope now you will be able to solve all the problems based upon the hybridization. I have discussed the basic rules. I would wish you all to attempt these questions based upon these rules which we have discussed. If you find any problem, you can always ask me. So this is it for this video. That is it. Thank you so much.